pay key attention to all the information which are available, like the target market, target customers, like who are all of the foods in the market, and consumer price index, Federal Reserve interest rates. Then outcome orientation. This organization is more oriented towards the outcome, that is money, by howsoever the means. They are not they don't care about the process. Then people orientation. The people orientation of this organization bias, and it has hidden motivation towards the people orientation. We can say that, like why they are looking at Japanese people, or the relation between the mentor and the trainee. So it consists of bias and hidden motivated. Then we go to aggressiveness. Then there is a high degree of aggressiveness in this organization. It's more because of the terminal value of the organization, which is money making, profit making. So there is a high degree of aggressiveness among the employees of this organization. And then identity. Here there is localized identification prevailing in this organization, in the sense that an employee from mortgage bond department identifies himself with the mortgage bond department, and an employee from municipal bond department identifies himself with the municipal bond department, rather than identifying themselves whole as a Salmon Brothers employee. When we go towards attitude towards change, over here more change is not entertained by senior colleagues. We can say that change is seldom in this organization. Then team orientation. In team orientation, there is a lot of internal competition and competitiveness among the employees to fight among themselves and go for the outcome. And then openness, communication, and supervision. We can say that here there is only downwards communication, that is unidirectional from top to bottom. Over here, the trainees or the newbies or the younger generation are not entertained to come up with views and suggestions, and their voice is not being heard over here. Then subcultures. We can see that here there are pieces of subcultures in this organization as a whole. There are occupational subcultures and regional subcultures. From occupational subcultures point of view, like there are departmental subcultures, like municipal bond department having a totally different culture and mortgage bond department having a totally different culture, and both are not able to stand in each other's subcultures. Then regional subcultures, like the London office having a totally different subculture, and the New York office having a totally different subculture, and they are not able to compact. There's huge lot of compatibility issues because of these subcultures prevailing. Now let me go for parallel aspect of this existing organization culture. First of all, in Salmon Brothers, it's a strong organization culture. A strong organization culture from the point of view that employees respond to the stimulus because their value is quite aligned to the organization value, and over here the organization terminal value is money, that is profit making. So there are some pros and cons of this strong organization culture. Let's start with the pros. And the pros are that it facilitates coordination and action among the employees for targeting clients, for cracking a deal, and all those things. Then there are widely shared and internally consistent norms, rules, and SOPs, and also there is the terminal value, they are inspired to do their utmost to work hard. Because as the terminal value is money, so by that way, and these internally shared consistent norms, values, and SOPs, they are inspired to do their utmost to work hard. Now, the cons of this strong organization culture is that top management has power to manipulate the situation for undue benefits in their favor. Then responsiveness. The responsiveness of this organization is in a way that as all the trainees and maximum of the employees have the same attitude, this sameness is preventing the organization from adapting to the external environmental changes, which may happen in future or at any time. So this sameness among the employees will have a same point of view, same point of thinking, so it will prevent them from adapting to the external environmental changes. Then over here, the innovation, because of this strong organization culture, the innovation is not encouraged. And then this organization culture is not leading anyways toward developing managers, and there are a lot of uncontrolled costs. As we have come to know from reading that there are 6 supporting stock for one trader. That's it. Now I will hand over to Shashank for transmission of culture in organization.
Please wait. Now how to impart this culture to the new employees. The thing is, why is there a requirement to impart this culture to new organization? So all organizations are somewhere different in their goals and objectives. To achieve these goals and objectives, they create some sort of structure and culture that can facilitate them to help the desired objective. Now, they expect the new employees to help this culture and and they will help them to achieve this desired objective. So first thing is hiring and promotional activities. So employees are hired in such a way that they are suitable for the culture the organization is having. But in our case, they expect employees to be proactive enough to contact the mentors and to create contacts, to maintain the contacts. Sitting idle, although you are very genius, you are academically very good, but it doesn't mean there is no use of your academic knowledge unless you try by yourself. So fail will not work here. Second thing is your previous knowledge or degree. Thing is, they have created the structure in such a way that your knowledge, financial knowledge and economic knowledge is of no use. It's very less significance in their culture. The only thing which motivates them is the money. The creation of this illusion of demand. A training is created in such a way that they have to create an illusion that they are very demanding. This mentor wants them, that mentor wants them. So ultimately they are creating an illusion that everyone wants them to increase their value. So this is how they in later stage of life they are doing with the client. They are projecting an image that they are savage, they are something wishing good for the client, but ultimately they are making the money for the organization. And in the ancient anarchy, this is the thing, like it's such a competitive environment. Only bad will come out. Baddest of the bad will come out. By baddest, what I mean to say is one who has adopted this culture as soon as possible. Other thing is socialization, like the stories. Stories like teachers come and they will tell you the story of the big traders, their successful story. Then common practices. Common practices we can see is yelling at each other, insulting the financial experts, and betting like how much time will someone will take to sleep. And language is very informal language in this type of culture here in this hormone business. And behavior like when the Michael Lewis first come to the training center, first thing he got is someone was trying to sell him something. So what I mean to say, they were traders by heart. So they are totally involved in the culture, that whatever they think it's credible. So overall idea is to impart the culture, to make them learn to live the corporate culture. Now I am handing over to Manoj.
Now we will look the culture that has been developed in Solomon Brothers. That is somewhat we are used to nowadays, but at that time it was quite different. But the nature of the functioning of the organization required that they maintain this type of culture. But for medium to short term, they would be facing some threats. Let's see, illegal practices. That since the main motive was money making, and also it had very little structure, and to increase your status in the organization, you had to earn more and more money. So, and under little supervision this organization has, you are bound to follow some illegal practices if it's come in your way. So it actually may hamper the organization in the long run. Then let's see the compatibility issue. When you are collaborating with other organizations to work, it's very difficult with such extreme cultures to manage and collaborate with other organizations. And it may be difficult if you are forming some alliances with other organizations. One is the other is retention. In the training program and overall, they were taught that they had a particular goal, money making, or so they were not able to retain the employees. They trained for 6 months, they would go out. So any organization, the human resource is one of the major core competitors of a company. But here